if it's a slip-on. It has to grip your toe there, and it has to grip your heel there. And if it doesn't do that, it's not a slip-on shoe, it's a slip-off. By definition, that really is too small because it's squidging your toes up in the front. They don't like being like that, they really want to do that to grip. Like this, it's actually a shoe that will hold your foot in place and it'll stay on your foot without your toes having to grip like this. Like this, if you walk along without gripping your toes, then the first thing you do is you kick the shoe off. You can imagine a slipper that's seen a bit of wear, it's not in its prime. The only way you can keep them on is to shuffle like this. And if you're shuffling and gripping with your toes, the chance of you tripping over something is enormous. We know that a major contributory factor to older people falling is badly fitting slippers. They wear down at the heels and the foot starts sliding off the front or the back of the slipper. So generally speaking, what you should be looking at is something with a bit of a heel, preferably a Velcro strap that will hold the slipper firmly in place, so that it's just hugging your foot snugly and leaving plenty of space at the toes for your feet to wiggle about. Type of very popular ladies' shoe really doesn't do your feet any favours, is because if we look at the height of the heel, then it's forcing your foot to really stretch at the back of the Achilles tendon. And if we look at the amount of cushioning you get from the back here, there's really very little. It's quite a hard shoe. And you can already start to see where the pattern of wear is falling on this shoe. In its favour, at least it's big enough and it's not cramping the toes in at all. But if we look at the strap, there's really nothing at the heel to keep the heel on. Generally speaking, running bare feet, we're designed to cope with the heel. Let me show you with the foot. With a heel that hits the ground, and then as your foot comes down, all of these complicated bones in the middle of the foot are designed to move so that the foot accommodates to uneven ground. Now with the hard floor that doesn't happen. Your heel comes down and it goes slap, and your foot can collapse inwards like that. If you do that a lot, then you can end up with a more or less permanent looseness about the middle of the foot, and you end up with an acquired flat foot. Because your foot's designed really for the toes to sit a little bit lower than the heel, so that when your foot pushes off, then you get a good push off. Bare feet on a hard concrete surface, it doesn't allow you to do that. Also, you have about 9mm of padding on your heel. That's great for uneven ground and ground that will give a little bit. Hard floors don't do that at all. And so you can end up with either fatty pad heel bruising, or you can end up even with bruising of the periosteum, the little surface that covers the bone. Okay, generally speaking, particularly with children, the growth plates in the bones haven't finished fusing, and so a child generally won't complain of pain, but what's happening is as their foot grows, the shoe is just squeezing up into The foot is just squeezing up into the shoe. So as you get older, you can end up with corns, calluses, you can grow bunions as your big toe is pushed over to one side slowly by the shoe. And later on in life that can come back to haunt you. Your foot can be misshapen. If you have other problems such as diabetes, you can end up with lack of feeling, you can end up with ulcers on your foot. A qualified shoe fitter will know their sizes, they'll know their stock, and they'll be able to match them to your foot. That's the one thing you can't do over the net. A Society of Shoe Fitter will have trained for about a year before they take their exam, and they do know their stuff, they're good. They're also quite rare, so if you find one, then it's worth sticking with them.